Fine, then let's move on to the next lesson, which is lesson number 7, fundamental arithmetical operations. This is the easier lesson compared to the previous one, because previous one was mostly theory, whereas here it is mostly the basic operations, which are the addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. It's mostly about that, with bits and pieces thrown in. Okay, let's start this. Fine. So now this the word arithmetic itself, they say, comes from the Greek word arithmos. Point to be noted, because sometimes these type of questions creep in the exam, because the institute, even though it's a practical part of the CSEET exam, sometimes they want to throw in theory questions as well. Let's see. So this Greek word arithmos means what? Number. Fine. Essentially, the arithmetic covers the ABCs of numbers. That is the fundamental stuff. We are mostly talking about the three things here, which are those: the theory of numbers, wherein we are understanding the essence of numbers, the art of mensuration, fancy word, but it's just measuring things. That's all, nothing much. Then finally, we have the numerical computation, doing the math, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and all that jazz for you. So this is what we are referring to when we say arithmetic, or arithmos, according to the Greek word. So now let us look at the basic arithmetic operations. So what are these superhero moves of arithmetic? Well, you can think of them as the fantastic four, which are those: plus, minus, multiply and divide. And these operations are like your Avengers of math, always there to save the day. They're not just numbers on the paper, they're your everyday heroes, helping you figure out income, expenditure, balance sheets, you name it, and they're there. And since sometimes what happens, all the four will be simultaneously sorry about that. Yeah, fine. Sometimes what happens, all the four will be simultaneously present, and then what to do, which to take up first. So there comes our most important rule of BODMAS. So what is this BODMAS now? Of course, I don't think they have mentioned here. Okay, they have mentioned. Yeah, B stands for bracket, meaning deal anything within the brackets first. It's like giving priority to the VIPs in the math world. Okay, fine. O for order. Handle any powers or roots next. Like they are the cool friends of VIPs, who have to be taken care of after the brackets. Then comes DMAS, that is D for division, M for multiplication, A for addition, and S for subtraction. That means first we look at brackets, whatever is there in the brackets, we do it, because we have to give priority to them. Then of course order, which you won't encounter usually. Then comes division. First take up division, then take up multiplication, then take up addition, and lastly take up subtraction. So that is the thing. Okay, this is easier said than done. Sometimes there will be some confusion. I'm sure this is elementary, but still, let us take up some example and then try to understand how this rule actually works out. Okay, let me just think of something. Oh, okay, 4 plus 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2, I'll do one thing. 3 into 2 minus 5 divided by 1. So this is the thing. You can use the divide sign if that is confusing. So now we have the addition, brackets, multiplication, subtraction, and the division as well. So now, as the rule itself says, brackets, order, divide, multiply, add, and finally subtract. First we'll have to take whatever is in the brackets first. So I will keep on rewriting this, applying the rules. 4 plus 6. How? Because 3 into 2, they are within the brackets, so deal with it first. So 4 plus 6 minus 5 divided by 1. So now that we are done with brackets, order, the next thing which comes up is division. So take care of this next. So I will rewrite this now as 4 plus 6 minus 5. So finally we do the addition and subtraction from left to right. So from left to right. So 4 plus 6 minus 5 can also be written as 10 minus 5, which is nothing but 5 itself. So that's how we cracked it here. We looked at one particular problem here. We applied the BODMAS rule, and finally we got the answer. So it's as simple as this. I don't think there is any scope for confusion here. Okay. Okay, now let's look at the types of fundamental arithmetical operation. We already mentioned these. No, the same thing, right? Nothing else. Addition definition. Let me go through this first. Hmm, what are these definitions? A mathematical operation of adding items together is addition. Fine. The plus sign indicates that something is to be added. Fine. It entails adding two or more integers together to create a single number. Of course, yes. 10 plus 10, two or more different integers adding together to get a single number, that is addition for you. Okay, any type of number including real and complex number, of course, yes. Here rational, irrational, everything can be considered. For example, 3.12 plus 5.67 can also be added. Okay, doesn't really matter whether it's a negative integer, positive integer, whether it's a rational number, irrational number, whatnot. Okay, whole number, natural number, whatever it is, we can still add. 6 plus 1 7, then here 5 plus 3 8, 8.79, two numbers forming one new number. That is what we have here. Okay. The addition of more than two numbers, values or term is also known as summation, which I'm sure you are familiar with. So that is there. Addition rules. Let's look at the rules of addition. A positive integer is the result of adding two positive numbers. For example, 10 plus 20. Both are positive numbers. There is no minus sign here. So we get 30, again a positive integer. A negative integer is created by adding two negative integers. Okay. For example, minus 10, minus 10. So both are minus. So we add those two numbers as such and retain the negative sign. So minus 20. Okay. When subtracting positive and negative integers, utilize the sign of the biggest integer value. Okay, this is interesting, because when we are dealing with the same sign, it is always easy. Plus and plus, minus and minus. What if there is plus as well as minus involved together? For example, minus 45 plus 30. Now how do we deal with this? It's very simple. So 45 is the largest number, use that sign. Okay, so minus 45 plus 30, that means we'll have to deduct from 45, which will be obviously 15. But which 15? Is it positive 15 or negative 15? Again, we'll go back to this rule. When subtracting positive and negative integers, utilize the sign of the biggest integer value. The biggest integer value is 45. Its sign is 45, so therefore it will be minus 45. That's the thing. Okay, so yeah, subtraction definition. Let's move on. The difference between two numbers is revealed by the subtraction procedure. Difference between two numbers. For example, let's say India scored 245 runs in a match and Australia scored 230. So the difference here is 15 runs. For example, let's say India batted first and Australia batted second and scored and scored only 230 runs. So now what do we say? India won by 15 runs. So that is the thing. That's what subtraction does. It is addition done in the opposite direction. Fine. Subtraction is the act of combining a positive term with a negative term. So for example, 245 minus 230. So the positive term is 245. We don't write that here. Even if you don't write also, it is always known that it's a positive term. And here it is clearly specified that it is negative. So 245 minus 230 will be obviously 15 runs. India won by 15 runs, which they did not, but that's a different thing. Fine. Let's move on. The term can also be rewritten as 14 plus, okay, they're given something like this, 14 minus 5. You can also rewrite it as 14 plus minus 5. So minus into plus will be always minus. So therefore 14 minus 5, we have, what is this that they have done? 9. Adding the terms, we have 7. How can you get 7? I wonder what are they even doing. Okay, of course, when you copy from other material, you probably copy the mistakes as well. Subtraction rules. Let us look at the rules of subtraction. I'm just checking if the recording is working. Yeah, it is fine. Moving on. Where are we? Subtraction rules. What are these subtraction rules now? Both the numbers are positive, then the answer will be positive. That's very simple. It's more or less like additional rules only. 50 minus, if both the numbers are plus, the answer will be positive. If both the numbers are plus, how are we even getting, what is that they're trying to say? How can you even subtract? Anyway, how can there be both plus numbers? Okay, maybe they're referring to this plus minus of 45. Maybe this is what they're referring here. So this will obviously be 5, because plus into minus again will become minus 5. If both the numbers are negative, the answer will be negative. That is something which we already know. For example, minus 5 and minus 10 will be minus 15. Okay. And if one number is positive and the other number is negative, the answer will be the sign which is largest. Same as addition, no change here also. So let's say if we are looking at minus 100 plus 85. So this will be 15. Which sign should I use? Minus, because the largest number is 100 and its sign is negative. So we use the negative sign. Done. Moving on. Multiplication definition. That's the next function. Repeated addition. If someone asks you to define multiplication, this would be the most simplest addition. What is the definition? Repeated addition. For example, 3 into 3 is how much? 9. What exactly we did here was we repeated the addition, that's all. So that is same as this. Multiplication, I would say, is there's nothing but the extension of addition. Okay. So now it is indicated by X, or what is this? Oh, this the into sign. Okay. In computer language it would be a star, but whereas if we have to write manually, we will write the X. Additionally, it can combine with 2 or more values, other values, to produce a single value. Fine. Multiplication, the multiplicand and the multiplier are both involved in the multiplication. Each has a term, multiplicand and multiplier. It doesn't make, I mean, it's not required for us. The outcome of the multiplying and the multiplicand and the multiplier actually, by the multiplier, is referred to as a product. Okay, fine. 5 into 6, 30. Fine. These are all basic stuff. I don't want to get into in detail here. Let's look at the multiplication rules. The product of two positive integers is always positive, that is for sure. 45 into 2 positive will be 90 positive. So if in a multiplication, if one number is positive and the other number is negative, then the answer will be negative. This you have to remember, because minus 45 into 2 would be minus 90. Minus into plus would be minus. Even if it was a small number, for example, if it was plus 45 into minus 2, it would still be 90, because we are looking at one number is positive, the other number is negative, the answer will be negative. There is no question of what is the sign of the largest number like we do in subtraction or as in addition. Here we just look at the sign and decide. In multiplication, if both the numbers are negative, the answer will be positive. So for example, minus 45 into minus 2, in this case minus minus will get cancelled and it will become positive 90. So that's what it is. So that's about the multiplication. Next is the division. Let's look at that. Okay, let me bring it up. So the inverse of multiplication is division. Inverse of multiplication. For example, here we say 3 into 3. Here we say 3 divided by 3. So 1, which is typically represented by the symbol this divided by. It consists of words divided, dividend and divisor, quotient, remainder. All those things will come into picture here. Fine. So there again example, 8 by 4 is 2, 8 is the dividend, the one which is getting divided, 4 is the divisor, the one which is dividing, and the result 2 is called the quotient. There is no remainder here, so you don't have to worry about that. So now let us look at the rules of division. The positive integer is obtained by dividing two positive integers. For example, 90 divided by 2 would be 45, 50 divided by 5 would be 10, positive. The positive integer is obtained by adding two negative integers, by dividing two negative integers. Okay, minus 45 divided by minus 9 will be 5. Two negative integers, when they get divided, it will be 5, a positive. Okay, a negative integer is produced when you divide two integers with different signs. So in that case also you will get negative, which is similar to multiplication. For example, minus 45 divided by 9 would be minus 5. So that is the thing. So what else? Division rules is done. Now let us look at basic arithmetic properties. Let's see what are these. The basic arithmetic properties for real numbers are commutative property, associative property, distributive property. Again, simple stuff, something which you already have seen n number of times in different classes. So let's still go through this. This property is applicable only for two arithmetic operations, that is addition and multiplication, not for division or subtraction. Suppose a and b are two numbers, then according to the commutative property, even if you change the order also, it's still the same. For example, a plus b will be the same as b plus a, meaning even if I change the order here, in the first in the LHS A is first, in the RHS B is first, but still LHS will be RHS. Whereas we can't do this in case of division or in case of subtraction. I will give you an example here. Let's say, let me write it here. 4 plus 5 equals 5 plus 4, 9 and 9. Okay. Let me take another example. 10 plus 20 equals 20 plus 10. This I can't use in multiplication. Multiplication I can use, sorry. I can't use in division. 10 divided by 20 is not equal to 20 divided by 10. Different answers, totally different. Okay. I can't use in subtraction also. 10 minus 20 is not the same as 20 minus 10. Here it will be minus 10 because 20 is greater and we'll have to use its sign. And here 20 is greater, again we'll have to use its sign. So it will be 20 minus 10, positive 10. So this commutative property is applicable only for, as they say, addition and multiplication arithmetic operations and not for division or subtraction. So they have given an example, 5 plus 2, 7 is equal to 2 plus 5, which is also 7. At the same time, we can use it for multiplication also. That is 4 into 5 equals 5 into 4. That is 20 equals 20. That we know anyway. Associative property. Let's look at that. Like the commutative property, the associative property is also applicable in addition and multiplication. Here also, we are looking at slight extension of the commutative property, not very different from what we have already seen just above. So here A plus B plus C equals A plus B plus C. That means we are grouping B and C together. Here we are grouping A plus B together. For example, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3. That's all. So that is what we are doing here. We just group the numbers differently. So when it comes to this, it will be 1 into 2 into 3 equals 1 into 2 into 3. So again, in any case, it will be 6 and 6. You can take any number for that matter. It's not just these simple numbers. So you'll still get the same answer. For example, 10 into 5 into 2 equals 10 into 5 into 2. That means 5 2s is 10. 10 into 10 is 100. So 10 5s are 50. 50 into 2 is 100. Again the same thing. So that is the associative property. Two numbers get associated, or when you are grouping something, you can still interchange the group and still the answer remains the same. So that was our associative property. Next comes the distributive property. Let's see what exactly this is. According to the distributive property, if A, B and C are the three real numbers, then here we are slightly changing. Again, we are now looking at the signs as well. Okay, so if they are all real numbers, then what can we do? A into B plus C. So now we multiply A into B and A into C, and it will still be the same. If you take the example, 5 into 6 plus 7, that's all. So is equal to 5 into 6 plus 5 into 7, that's all. So 6 plus 7 is how much? 13. 13 5s are 85. So now here 5 6 are 30. 5 7s are 35. I made a mistake here. So this is not 85, 65. Sorry. Okay, 13 5s are 65. So yeah, that's it. So now 65 equals 65. Take another example. Let's say 7 into 8 plus 9 equals 7 into 8 plus 7 into 9. You can try this. 8 plus 9 is how much? 17. 17 into 7. Let me do this. 7 7s are 49. 7 1s are 7. 10 11. No. Yeah, 119 it is. 7 8s are 56. 7 9s are 63. 63, 9, 11, 119 and 119. That's all. So that's the distributive property for you. Again, they have given few examples. They've taken the same example, is it? Which I took. No, different. Okay. Now we have few sample questions on board mass. They only considered DMAS. BO is not considered here. That is what they are trying to tell us. Let's see what exactly do we have in store. Let me just bring it up on screen. Okay. Add 30 and 45 and then subtract 20 from the sum. easy. 30 plus 45 is what we have to do first, that is 75, and from 75 you subtract 20, you will get 55. Done. Solve 10 plus 10 plus 10. This can also be solved in a different way, 1 2 3 4 5, no? So then it can also be written as 10 into 5, which is same as 50. Find the value. Here we'll have to look at bod mass. Okay, first bracket, 6 4s are 24. Okay, then divide 12, that means 2 plus 72 divided by 8 minus 9. So then consider this, that will be 2 plus 72 by 8, 8 9s are minus 9. So from left to right you just do the addition and subtraction. 9 plus 2, 11, minus 9 would be again 2. That is the thing. So that is what we have here. I hope it is clear. This bod mass is actually very easy, not difficult at all. Now again, 24 minus 4 divided by 2 into 3. So first do the division. So that can be rewritten as 24 minus 2 into 3. Then do the multiplication. So that can be rewritten as 24 minus 6. That is nothing but 18. That is what they have got here, 18. Next. Simplify 24 by 4 into 3 plus 2. 24 by 4 is what we have to do first because it is division. So 6 into 3 is what we have to do next, plus 2. So that can be rewritten as 6 3 is 18 plus 2, which is 20. That is the thing. Next. Simplify minus 20 plus minus 8 divided by minus 2 into 3. So first do this because this is what we are supposed to perform first. So minus 8 divided by minus 2. So we know the division rule where both divisor and the dividend are negative, the quotient will be positive, so this will be 4. So this can be rewritten as minus 20 plus 4 into 3. So do this first. 4 3s are 12. So minus 20, where is that? What is that? Plus 12, which is nothing but minus 8, because 20 is the largest number and its sign is negative. So we'll retain that. So it will be minus. Okay, let's move on. Simplify. Again, we have bod mass rule here. So first do the division. Both have negative sign, so therefore the result will be a positive number. 16 3s are, is it? 16 3s is 48. So minus 5 minus 3 plus minus 2 into 6. So do this first. So 5 minus 3 minus 12, because any positive number when it is multiplied by a negative number will result in a negative number. So that will also be negative, that is minus. So all the three will have to just add and retain the sign. 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 12, 20. So minus 20 is the answer which they have got here as well. Moving on. Simplify 52 minus 2 into 6 plus 17. This is easy, you can only do it, but still 2 6 are 12. 12 plus 17 is what we are, or rather we can do from either side, it will still be fine. Minus 12 plus 17. You can either do this first or this first and the answer will still be the same. 52 minus 12 is 40. 40 plus 17 equals 57. Or you can write 52 minus 12 and plus 17 will be nothing but plus 5. So because positive sign has to be considered because the largest number is positive. So this will be 57 once again, which is the answer which they have got. So that's about the basic operations introduction to the second chapter or lesson 7 in the overall scheme of things.